over the last week, the film fan community have been getting a whole lot of great trailers for movies that are highly anticipated. The first trailer is for the new Disney animated film Zootopia. This film looks really good, and although the trailer doesn't show a whole lot, it definitely sets up the tone for the film in that it's going to be a self-aware, funny, and also kind of in the vein of the animated Disney films recently. Like, it's going to be in more of the Big Hero 6 than maybe the classic Disney films, which I think is actually a good thing because Disney have been making a whole lot of money recently, and to continue that trend is a good thing. Zootopia looks like it's going to be a pretty good entry into the Disney canon. That could be a lot of fun. The characters, the design of the characters look really good as well, and I really like the setup of the trailer, and it's very smart and almost new for a Disney animated film to do, because the humor is a little bit actually more pandering to an older audience. I don't want to say adults, but it does feel like it's got a different tone to what this Disney animation is usually has. And I think that's a good thing. Changing it up a little bit is never really a bad thing, unless, of course, the finished product doesn't turn out to be that great. Zootopia, I'm excited for it, but I'm actually more excited for Moana, their next Disney animated film, which is going to be, I think, a little bit more classical. But before we have Moana next year, we have Zootopia, and I think there's going to be a nice year next year in 2016 for Disney animation fans, which I am a huge fan of, and I really get excited about everything that they do. I don't love everything they do, but I love animation. Animation is one of my favorite genres to sit down and watch, and Zootopia, I don't really have any doubts that it's going to be just at least a fun animated film. The next trailer we got is for the Lance Armstrong biopic, The Program, and this movie looks really, really good. And it's not actually necessarily a whole biopic of Lance Armstrong. It's going to be just like a certain section of his life, the more controversial section of his life. And this trailer does seem to be coming out very soon, and this movie, this scandal only happened a couple of years ago to my memory, and even though I'm not a sporting fan, the way the film is depicting sports and just controversy in general actually looks like it could be made interesting for me. It looks like a great film. Ben Foster, who's going to be playing Lance Armstrong in the film, actually looks like he's giving a really great performance, and it's got a really good cast. Like, I was surprised to see Dustin Hoffman show up in there, which is, I always like to see him in movies nowadays, even if he hasn't got the biggest role. So the program looks really good, and hopefully it's not like a sugar-coated version of the actual events that I don't know a whole lot about, except I know that there was a whole lot of controversy. So this film, I'm not going in knowing a lot about the subject matter, because again, I'm not a sports fan. I never watch sports. But it could be really interesting, and that's why I'm looking forward to the program. The last trailer I'm going to be talking about is the trailer for The Martian. And this looks like a really good film as well, and like the program, could be going for some Academy Award nominations. And this actually might be the more likely to gain a lot of nominations. I can definitely see Matt Damon scoring a Best Actor nomination. This film looks really interesting, although it's nothing we haven't seen before. Like, somebody is stuck and needs to be rescued, but the fact that does make this a little bit different is the fact that he is stuck on another planet. And that's really cool, and the fact that they had to go and rescue him, I think, is going to be really interesting. The film does have the potential to be quite boring, especially in the middle section. I feel like there's going to be a lot of scenes where Matt Damon has to carry the film and keep it running, because the film, with the Ridley Scott film, it's probably going to be long. And so that's even more reason that Matt Damon has to carry this film. I do have some concerns, and the trailer actually showed a lot of the movie. It definitely showed a lot of the plot twists, in that, they have to go and rescue him, which I think they maybe didn't have to show in the trailer. I would have liked to have seen just them just him being left, and being thought dead. I think that would have made for a more interesting, trailer, because it showed a lot. It's very long, but I'm still very excited for The Martian. If you haven't seen the trailer for The Martian, I actually would suggest that you watch, about half of it, because it does show a lot. And although I think there could be a surprise or two in the movie, still, it's better going in not knowing a whole lot. I'm not going to watch another trailer for this, because I feel like I've seen enough, maybe even more than I thought I would. But I really wish it was a trailer like The Program, which didn't show much of the film at all, and I'm still curious to find out what happens, even though it does, even though it is a true life story. I'm curious to see how the events of the film pan out. So we got some really good trailers in the last week, of films I'm particularly looking forward to. Some are coming out sooner than others, but I'm looking forward to all of them pretty much equally. And they all have good trailers. Maybe The Martian may be the weakest of them all, but again, it was a good introduction to the film, I would say. So let me know what you thought of these three trailers, and let me know if you're planning to see any of the films. Okay, guys, see you next.